How are we going to start this one, guys? How do you want to... Dan, do you want to lead it off? Sure.
Well, it's your recommendation, Jake.
I suppose. Okay. Hello, everybody.
Hello.
And welcome back to Screen Fiends.
Yay!
I know, it's been too long. But it's because we've had Christmas and New Year's, isn't it? Did you guys have a nice Christmas and New Year's?
I'm going to be fully transparent here. It was probably the least festive Christmas I've had, period. Wow. But it was good still. It was different, let's put it that way. Still fun.
What did you get up to?
Just spoke to a bunch of friends online. Didn't really go out.
Did you not see your family or anything for Christmas?
I saw my nan, and then...
Nan?
But we didn't do any like Christmas things with her. She went with my uncle to a restaurant that we didn't go to.
That's an interesting Christmas. Did no one cook a turkey?
No turkeys. My sister was very adamant in a meatless Christmas dinner. So we had a bunch of vegetables. God. And guess what? I found out I'm allergic to carrots.
You're allergic to carrots?
Yeah. Not specifically carrots, but I have... When I drank soy last time, it was I had this like weird like scratching in the back of my throat, and it felt like there was like a lump in there for like 20 minutes or something. But when I had a raw carrot, it was a very strong reaction of like scratchy the throat, and it's swollen, and I was like coughing sort of thing. It just felt like there's something in my throat. I looked it up, and apparently it's like linked to a pollen allergy, but your body thinks some proteins in raw food is pollen, and then
that's weird.
You're
only allergic to raw carrots.
Just raw, not specific. Yeah, raw cooked are fine, but it's not specifically carrots as well. It's just some raw foods.
Okay.
Carrots seem to trigger it quite a lot. Yeah, I found that out because we had a lot of carrots on the dinner. I just took one. And yeah, weird. It's weird. Interesting Christmas.
Well, I forgot to mention, I'm Jake.
Oh yes, and I'm the guy that's allergic to carrots.
Harry is his name. Freak.
Caraman.
Dan.
My
What's your
name is
name?
Dan. You just said it, Jake.
What is it?
I have to say this every time.
No. We'll have to find out.
My
next time,
name
I
is
suppose.
Dan, for those who are only just listening to this episode for the first time and haven't listened to our previous two, which are on YouTube right now, and you should go watch them.
Yeah, we should go watch the other
listen
ones
to them.
where we talk about how Dan still doesn't know if he's Dan or not. So Dan, how was your Christmas? I mean, maybe Dan.
My Christmas was alright. We went out for a Chinese with my grandmother, my parents, and my grandmother's carer that she has because she's got dementia and she lives alone, and that was pretty nice. And my New Year was very enjoyable. I liked it. I enjoyed it a lot. We played Secret Hitler, and
Sick. I have heard of that, but I don't know what it is.
it's great. It's like the best way I can describe it is like if Among Us was a board game, but it's like you have one person who is Hitler, but no one knows the Hitler apart from you have two teams, right? And it's like in like Weimar. It's meant to be like Weimar Germany before Hitler was elected as chancellor, and it's like you have one team who are the fascist party of Germany, and then one team that's like the liberal party of Germany, and the fascists win if Hitler is elected chancellor, and the liberals win if they can get 5 liberal policies elected. And it's just very fun. It's just all about like lying to each other about things. Like the liberals don't know who the fascists or Hitler is. The fascists know who everyone is, and Hitler doesn't know who the other fascists are. So Hitler doesn't actually know who's on his side or not, which is really fun. I know it's really it's really good. It's a minimum of 5 players though. It's kind of difficult to get those numbers, but
Did you play it online or did you play it in person?
no, in person I had a bunch of people over at my house
Wicked.
for New Year.
Oh, I'm glad I didn't go then, because that would confuse me. Confuse my tiny brain.
Nah, you would have got it.
Maybe. Maybe.
I had a pretty good Christmas. It was mostly, I saw my family. Mine was. Your guys didn't sound too traditional, you know.
Yeah, no, mine was very not the norm.
Mine was pretty, traditional. I went round my nan's and we all had a turkey dinner, and I got really drunk, and then Boxing Day I went around my girlfriend and saw her entire extended family and got really drunk, and then went to my nan's on the night and saw my extended family again and got really drunk, and then and also I got God of War, the new God of War, PlayStation 5, and dude, I've been playing it solidly since Christmas.
Yeah.
I've got 44 hours in it.
Rookie numbers, man.
It's fucking what for a week.
Yeah, 44.
I think
How many hours
secured.
in a week?
I secured. Yeah, but I do have
Life
things to do. Yeah.
Well.
But in the first, I think it was after day after Boxing Day I started it, and within those 2 days after Boxing Day, I think I had like 23 hours or something like that, and I was like, Jesus Christ, I need to stop. But it was so much fun. It's a great game. I finished it now, and yeah, dude, you wait till it comes out on PC, Harry.
I still haven't played the
Have you
original
played?
one. No.
Well, it's one of them. Like, there's nothing particularly, innovative about it, but the story is great and the characters are great. Yeah, the voice acting and the characters are really good. So it's definitely worth playing. And I do like the combat. It's just nothing new, if that makes sense.
Same as the original.
No, it's somewhat different.
Okay.
The original is like proper hack and slash, like platformer, whereas this is more of a like over the shoulder sort of. I don't know. You'd have to try it to really know what I mean, I guess. Yeah, kind of. And then for New Year's, I just sort of I went to a sort of party thing with a lot of people I didn't know.
Who hosted it?
It was fun. This guy called Josh I've never met before.
How did you get to know that? Like, how did you get invited?
Friends of friends.
Oh, I see.
My girlfriend's friend said we could come, so we went, and it was good. It was good fun. Got pretty drunk again. Played Ring of Fire. That's awful if you've ever played that. It's absolutely awful.
Yeah. I have played Ring of Fire.
Yeah. It's brutal. It's absolutely brutal. But anyway.
I just watch people get drunk. I try to observe people get really fucking drunk.
Yeah, it's like kink of yours.
I think so. I mean, it got pretty kinky.
I can't believe you're allergic to carrots, Harry. That is absolutely bonkers.
I know, same. I'm kind of sad because raw carrots are kind of nice.
How did you feel about meat-free Christmas?
It was a lot. It was a lot. I looked at the plate and I'm like, God fucking damn. Like, the best mashed potato was basically the meat. It was so fucking good. It was so goddamn good. We had vegan sausages and these like meatball things.
Interesting.
Stuffings.
It's nice that I bet your dad was bummed, right?
Yeah, vegetables. My dad don't. He's like, oh, he'll eat them, but he wants a sausage sort of thing.
Yeah, me too. I'd be pretty devastated if I had Christmas dinner and it didn't have turkey on it.
What's annoying though is when you. Like, I'm not too. I could go like probably vegetarian or something, but when you try and make a meat substitute and expect meat, it's just disappointment. Yeah. So no point really.
It is. You have to. I just feel like, I don't know. I wouldn't be fussed about having.
It was nice anyway. I actually ate with my family, which is crazy.
Oh my god, socializing.
Yeah. I know, it was weird. I felt weird. Body was shaking.
Right. Should we get into our chosen film anyway?
Our chosen film?
Unless you've got...
Yeah, our.
Well, find my fucking chosen film. God,
right.
see yourselves. So I chose... I chose it, 4 weeks ago, because we decided to do Christmas special. Did you guys watch any other Christmas films after?
Kind of, yes, actually.
I watched Die Hard.
Oh, what is
it? It was fucking great. Die Hard is so good.
Die Hard. I kind of watched a little bit of that, like before Christmas. I didn't finish it. Same with the other film I watched. What the fuck was it? It was like a Christmas Carol musical.
Oh, I also watched Blackadder's Christmas Carol. That was great.
Nice.
How do you like Blackadder, by the way?
Do I like Blackadder?
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah.
I used to like it, but the laugh track just kind of takes me over now. I don't know.
It does, and I think I've come to realize that a lot of the humor is pretty cheesy, you know. But there's some really funny jokes in it too. It's like Baldric is pretty like just, he's thick for thick's sake, but then like, Blackadder's, the humor that they set up with his sort of like evil side is pretty funny. So, yeah. Anyway, sorry, I got sidetracked again. We were going to talk about my chosen film, Suspiria from 1977, directed by Dario Argento. It's I'll get into the synopsis. It's about a young American girl called Susie who moves to Germany to learn to dance or whatever in this ballet. What would you call it? Like a theatre school
academy.
Yeah. Very prestigious.
Yeah, very prestigious academy. And when she arrives, all manner of weird, fucked up shit happens. Straight away, girls die, and she goes on a little bit of a, well, she doesn't actually do a fat lot, but you know, she has to work out what's going on. Yeah. So, what did you think then? Give me your initial thoughts of this, because this was my first time watching it, and I imagine it was yours as well.
Yes, it was. You said it was the inspiration to Climax.
Well, yeah, one of.
I was trying to like, I had it in my mind that it was kind of the inspiration for it, or one of the inspirations, and I could kind of see some similarities, especially with the lighting and a lot of the shots.
I think what I would say is, I don't know if it was a direct inspiration for the film Climax, but more like a film that the director of Climax sort of grew up with. Does that make? Do you know what I mean by that?
Like he's just his film he likes, sort of thing. He's going to be naturally inspired by it, sort of how it's filmed out. One question I was going to ask first. Do any of you know the art style of the hotel they're in, or like the building?
Oh,
the style of the architecture.
Yeah, the architecture, because it was a lot.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I've heard it.
I think that was meant to be like a deliberate choice of the director to make, because that wasn't like an actual building that was built on a set. Yeah, it's a set. Cool. And I think they deliberately chose like a very strange like rooms and stuff to make it feel like a fever dream.
It fucking felt like a fever dream. That did. Jesus Christ.
What is the word for that architecture style? There is a word for it, isn't it? It's Art Deco.
I thought Art Deco, but it's not Art Deco, I think.
Okay.
I'm not sure.
I
might just quickly look this up then, actually, while we're here.
That's kind of too much for Art Deco. It kind of is. A little, some of it is.
Yeah.
The color scheme.
It says modernist architecture.
Ah, yes. Futuristic.
So I guess it's just modern.
The color scheme of this film was apparently based on Snow White, the animated film.
Huh.
All right.
By Disney.
Now, I've never seen that, so whoopsie.
So lots of like red.
Oh, you know when they go like, they have like the RGB light, the red, green, and the blue and whatnot. But when they're on, is it dark for the for the people in the scene, and it's just like, it's just the colored. As the viewer, we're the only ones that see the color.
I mean, you could interpret it that way.
Because
I'm sure.
The one scene where they're all sleeping together, and she goes, "Oh, don't be scared. I'm turning off the lights." The lights go off. Red lights come on. Surely it's not.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Well, we'll get to that. First of all, Dan, what did you actually give me your overall thoughts? How did you enjoy it?
Extremely mixed opinions about this film.
Yeah,
me too. Mine aren't mixed. I have. I find it funny. I'm not gonna lie. Some of it was funny. Her acting, the main character, was hilarious in some points.
Yeah, I think that's kind of how I felt. It's like I thought the effects were good and impressive for 1977. I thought it was really impressive, but I thought the plot didn't really make sense at times.
Yeah.
The characters, I didn't really feel connected to them, and they
not at all. Yeah.
I have some other more specific things that I can like use as examples, but I'll let you guys say some more things first.
I think the main thing that took me out of it in a lot of places was just the mixing of the audio.
Yeah, there's some really strange editing choices.
Some of the times it was just like a sound effect would come out of nowhere and just end. Especially,
I do. Yeah, yeah. I
And-
think that it happened a lot with the music.
yeah, like when when she arrives in the airport and she like it cuts to the door, and then the music starts playing, and then it cuts away, and then it cuts back to it, and the
Yeah.
music starts playing, and it's like, so it
Yeah, yeah.
felt a bit weird.
Yeah.
Bit all over the place, you know.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, the soundtrack of the suspense music was like really loud at times. Just,
Yeah.
And I'm not
it
gonna
seemed
lie,
like for no reason.
kind of got on my
And it-
nerves.
And it was like you say, it was kind of like just used in scenes where like it didn't need to be
Yeah.
used.
I will say I did like the sort of like theme that sort of played throughout. There was like three main themes, wasn't there? And I liked two of them, but the one with the like the drumming, you know, when it's like dum 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 dum
There's a lot of that.
Yeah.
I was just like, please stop. It's really, you know, just I think it was always coming when it was something really intense about to happen, but it never really felt very
Intense.
it took away from it more than anything for me. Let's get into a couple of things. So I found out that Suspiria, right, in Italian means to sigh or whisper, which I think, you know, it's kind of funny because it ties into that another audio choice, which I thought was really poor, to be honest, was, you know, how it would just randomly sometimes go witch.
Yeah.
Just like, come on.
It
It's
said
really on the
the
nose.
subtitles, because you watched it in English, both of you watched it in Italian. They said white.
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 Well,
I heard witch, but it said white, and at some moments it felt like it was like white. But obviously it's gonna be witch, because you know,
Huh. Well, how was it spelt? Like WIGHT, like as in a white, as in
as
like
in
a
white,
ghost?
as in wait there, sir.
Oh,
Oh wait. I
Yeah.
see. Oh, right, okay.
Yeah. So
Huh. Maybe
yeah.
it is that. I don't know.
I don't know.
hear
I don't
witch.
think it is. I think it is witch. I heard witch as well, but just the subtitles were a bit fucked, I guess. So I hope that didn't. I don't think it affected my viewing experience much. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. Well, the budget for this film was $20 million, right? And at the box office, it made 35,000.
Ouch! Oh my god!
It was an absolute failure.
Wow.
Yeah.
How do you
Pretty
not?
brutal.
How do you make 35k on a film? You spent 20. Oh my lord!
Well,
I think there was. I mean, this film wasn't. Well, had very mixed reception, didn't it? Because there were a lot of people that thought it was, you know, too violent and too like graphic.
yeah. Well,
I mean,
there were bits like, you know, the maggot bit.
Yeah.
That was gross.
You know, they used when they showed it falling on people, they used grains of rice. Still.
Oh right, interesting.
Yeah. I think they didn't for the close up. I don't think. I think they actually filmed maggots,
Yeah.
but like, but
Which
when they
takes
showed
out
them
a
falling,
hair though, dude.
Yeah.
So disgusting.
A lot of like that sort of stuff in the film. It just seems like so random. It's like, okay, there's maggots falling from the ceiling, and it went nowhere.
yeah, it's
Yeah,
just like, oh yeah, it looks
yeah.
like we have some spoiled food in the attic. It's like, okay,
Yeah, it was
Okay,
like an
yeah.
excuse for a gross out moment, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Really?
I
Yeah.
felt like there was a few of that.
Yeah.
That's kind of what this film felt like, though. It kind of felt like the plot was there to serve the effects that they had in mind, rather
Yeah.
than like the effects being there to serve the plot.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
visual. It's a visual experience. There's nothing really narratively going on, and
Yeah,
I was thinking about this in terms of the like the antagonist. Like if you think about it, what does the antagonist actually do?
yeah,
Like I was making some notes and I thought like the visual presentation of this film is really good, right? Because it's like, you know, I was thinking about, you know, at the beginning. We'll talk about the first kill because I think that's
yeah,
really
go on.
cool opening. It's a very good opening, but like, it's, you know, all the colors that they use in that scene. That is what it's doing. But then when you actually come to the, I'm babbling a bit, but when you actually come to the sort of antagonists, it's like everything they do is on a reactionary level from the very beginning, where they haven't actually done anything, and everybody that dies is just going to find out, you know, that they've got some kind of secret layer. But it's like,
But then they kill people that know they have the secret.
Yeah,
lair.
exactly.
They're not doing anything else with it.
exactly,
Oh.
they don't actually do anything,
I think
and they have no motivation or goal that to set any stakes.
The bloke,
do you know what I mean?
That the protagonist was talking to about the witches, the guy who wrote the books. He said that their only purpose is to gain, like, have personal gain and wealth and success through illness and death, basically. Something like that. So,
and dancing.
I think maybe they have a successful thing going on with the school, and then people get in their way and they kill them. I don't know.
You can do that without being a witch.
I know, yeah, but
You can just run a school.
It's just bad motivation.
Yeah, it just feels like it's not very well put together narrative.
Well, that's the thing. Is like it kind of just seems like it's a murder thriller, all the way up until she talks to that like psychologist guy and starts talking to him about witches.
Yeah,
and then like, oh, because like up until that point, I had no reason to believe that there were like witches about.
Apart from the random green-eyed hairy man.
Yeah,
that appears at the window.
That was funny. How he literally just like, what is this the first kill when he puts his hand behind her head and just pulls her through the glass.
He's pushing. Well, it's like that. You get that horrible scene where her face is being like smushed against.
Yeah, she gets pulled through the glass, then gets teleported on top of the roof.
Yeah, I don't know.
And then
had no sense of place.
Then falls through the glass, and then the woman watching just dies as well, because why not?
Yeah, because as well, like it shows her dead on the floor, doesn't it, with that massive shard of glass just impaling her face, and I was just like, how did that?
I thought she was away from the glass, and then it shot.
Yeah, me too.
She was in the middle all of a sudden.
Yeah, but I do want to say, just not to detract from the actual sort of experience of that opening, because that kill is really cool, and the visuals of like, I think the modern looking hotel is very cool. You got like very symmetrical shots, where the camera's in the center of the room, and you have like shapes that sort of, come away from the center, and it just looks very precise. And then obviously, you've got that cool shot of where she's like got her head hanging backwards over the mirror, and her mouth is covered in blood, and then she slips through, and it hangs her. It's very miraculous, but it's very visually very cool.
Dramatic.
I do have a problem with that first killing scene, and that is that when like there's like a close up of the murderer, who we never find out who actually was, is stabbing the woman. It's very like gentle. It's like there's no force involved like, at all. It's like he's just poking a corpse.
It's like what's that film? It's like, I don't know if it's probably in the 70s. He has a knife. Is it Psycho? No, it's not Psycho. When a woman in the shower and he stabs her in the shower.
Yeah, that's Psycho.
Psycho? Okay. It's like that. Like you see the knife go down, and then it cuts to the person going, nothing's happening.
Yeah.
It's very, very similar to that. Very violent, very grotesque. Oh.
Very scary.
Yes, very
really,
scary.
really scary.
I'm so scared. Yeah.
But
all the kills are like that. Especially the second one, I suppose say, when she gets like slashed by the razor, but it obviously doesn't hit her, sort of thing, and then she just spins around like a ballerina and just touches glass, and it just shatters.
Well, which one's that? Sorry,
second kill.
Is that the second kill? I thought the second kill was the blind guy. Am I wrong?
Oh, no, you're right, because she freaks out by the blind guy.
Yeah, I did want to talk about that. So it's like, again, this comes back to these like disjointed ideas which have no connection to each other. It's like, so you see this, like, you see that old sort of big lady with the young lad or whatever, and they are never elaborated upon. I have no idea what they are, but I noticed the second time I watched it that they curse Susie, don't they? Because she's walking through the corridor before she's heading to the yellow room to do her first dance or whatever, and it goes witch again, and then she starts going all like, oh, like fainting and whatever, and I just so she's the reason that she's ill, and then later on, that same lady, I don't know if she does something to the dog or if it really is just the dog, but I'm guessing she does something to the dog. Then they just turn on the blind guy. Then the blind guy goes away, and then the dog kills him. And I'm just like, why did any of that happen?
He was playing the piano. I don't know why they all of a sudden they went off on the dog.
Exactly.
And the blind.
It just seemed like they provoke the dog for some unknown, mysterious reason. The dog attacks them. They have a go at the blind guy. The blind guy leaves, and then the dog kills the blind guy, and then
Yeah, they like curse the dog
like,
so it kills the blind
he's
guy.
literally blind. He's not gonna fucking find your room.
And why the hell? You know the place where he dies? Why the fuck is he there? Is the dog in
Yeah.
there? Does this kill him open or something?
I'll tell you why it's there, because it's visually impressive,
Yeah,
and it does look very good, but
yeah.
that's the only purpose to it. And I think it's like you said, Dan. The so-called narrative is just there to serve opportunities for like great visual aesthetic, you know.
Yeah.
I just want to say two things going back to the start of the film. I like it felt kind of inconsistent from the start when when she walks through. I don't know, this is kind of nitpicky, I guess. When she walks through the airport, like goes outside, it cuts to the hydraulic system in the door. Randomly. Yeah. That's why I was like, okay, and then that never sort of style of film
again with the water, don't they?
I was just about to say
water.
The water, that was a really cool shot when it was on the water, and then it panned up as the woman went through. And I thought that was a cool shot.
Sort of like, it's a cool shot, but
and then those sort of things never happened again.
Yeah, and I have tried to read into it, you know, and think like, what does the gushing water mean? But I just don't really. I don't know.
I think it's just like it's thunderstorming like crazy, and then it's just supposed to say it's supposed to like, oh, it's intense. Oh, it's a random woman running in the woods.
Well, that again, that's like, go on.
That bit there was the first really messed up. Like I noticed the mixing was bad when it's a shot of the woods and you see the car light at the back of the woods, and it goes. I think it says witch. Again,
that
was just really badly mixed there, really badly.
And you also get that, it's just a bit silly. The soundtrack was actually produced by an Italian band called Goblin, and I listened to some of their music on Spotify, and it's sort of like, it reminds me of like Risk of Rain music.
Really?
So, yeah.
Interesting thing about that is that Goblin made all of that music before the film was made.
Oh right.
So that might be why it doesn't fit very well. I don't know.
Yeah.
In my
to me,
oh god.
I was just gonna say, to me it comes across slightly derivative of like the Exorcist theme, which came out a few years earlier.
Right.
So do you know what I mean?
Could be inspired by it.
It's got like that piano melody. It sounds like it's going for it, and it's like similar sort of themes as well, ish, not really, but ish. You know, supernatural themes.
I found in my search to watch the film, I looked on YouTube just in case because it's an old film, it might be on there, and I found a re-upload of the film with this guy's remaster of the audio. Not remaster, but he did his own version basically.
All right.
And I didn't watch it because I think it was kind of trash, but classic. I'm curious to see what it'll be like with his audio though.
Yeah,
it is different.
Thanks for letting us know.
Well, you're not going to see it, but I just thought.
Yeah.
Right. You know the bit, you know when all the girls are together and then this one woman mocks their name for beginning with an S.
Yeah.
That bit was fucking weird.
Beginning with S is like snakes.
And then she starts like... It's so bad. That went nowhere. It was literally brought up, she was like, oh, I hope you're not too weirded out by me doing that S thing. And she's like, no, it's fine. And then, okay, that's that done. Okay, cool.
Yeah. But it's, I think... I don't know, it almost seems like, again, another disjointed thing where they wanted to set up some kind of, like, interaction that was going to be, like, it would lead to something in the future, like this character being... I mean, she's even named and, like, credited and everything, but she just doesn't do anything apart from that. She does this weird snake thing, and then that's the last thing you see of her.
Well, yeah, and then she also, she shares a house with the protagonist.
But she doesn't, though.
Yeah, not for long. No.
Yeah.
She does it for briefly, and then she's moved back again.
She never even goes to the house, though. This is my point. Like that, they set that up, and they set her up as if she's going to be this big character, and then they just go, oh, actually, because you're ill, you have to stay here now.
Well, no, she does go to the house though.
Does she?
Yeah, there's a whole scene where she's there with her, and and she's talking to her.
What do they say? I don't remember.
I'm not sure. And then a boy comes in and gives her something. I think it was like her suitcase or something.
She comments on her wallpaper, I think. She's like, oh, this room looks nice. And she's like, oh, yeah, I hope you like it.
Bro, I don't. That might not have been in my cut.
Yeah, we might have had different versions of the.
Yeah, possibly, because I don't remember that at all. I'll have a little look in a bit. Yeah.
I can see why it's put out, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, because it's just uninteresting.
I have. Oh, sorry, go on.
No, I was just gonna say what we could do is try and like just run through it a little bit, like chronologically throughout the film.
Yeah.
Just so we can, so it doesn't all feel like totally jumbled up. Do you know what I mean?
Yep. Yeah.
So, obviously, we've already talked about the opening, with the, great architecture. Those two violent deaths, which don't make a whole lot of sense, but they're cool.
And then she pulls up to the academy, and then that girl who gets murdered in that scene. She's running out, isn't she? I mean, this is kind of like before the murder, isn't it? But like,
yeah.
You see her,
but she says something, and you can't quite hear what she's saying.
Yeah.
Was it Iris?
And then Susie is told to go away by the person on the intercom.
Yeah, which I also thought was quite odd. But hey.
And I have a thing to say about that later as well.
Later, okay.
Yeah.
Well, let's continue.
Blue balling us so down. Jeez.
Yeah, I know. But then it's the next morning. She gets back to the academy, and when she comes in, everything's very blue, whereas up to this point, everything's been very red. And I do think that the colour blue is meant to symbolise like a false sense of security, like mystery, perhaps.
That's interesting. Yeah.
Where like the red is like when something bad is happening, or there is a threat, and the blue is like this sort of like, that's when the sort of the veil is up. Does that make sense?
How about green?
Yeah, I haven't got that far. But what do you think? We'll talk about that because there are a few scenes where it's very green, isn't it?
Yeah, not too many.
Could be just like more supernatural threat, perhaps.
Yeah, maybe because it was in the scene where the second girl that got murdered, she was kind of just about to be murdered, sort of thing.
Yeah, and I think it was. Yeah, because it's all very blue there, isn't it, as well? And I think, what is it? Yeah, and at the beginning, when that girl is in the apartment and the hand comes through and whatever, it's very blue. And then when she's actually getting stabbed, that's when you see the red sort of coming in.
It kind of reminds me, just like the color scheme a little bit, and the lighting kind of reminds me a little bit of Last Night in Soho. If you've seen that film,
I haven't seen it, but I've been meaning to. It didn't come out that long ago, did it?
No, it's Edgar Wright. It's I think it's a better film than this, and it's also a murder mystery. But
well, good.
I wouldn't dwell on that.
You saying this film isn't good?
I think this film has a lot of merit. Anyway, we'll get into that later. Yeah. So yeah, and then this is when we see those detectives, don't we? The detectives are there and they're chatting to the sort of the owners of the building, and then Susie says something like, "Oh, yeah, I saw her last night. She ran out at 11 o'clock." And then obviously she goes upstairs and she meets the other girls, and this is where we have the snake scene where Olga says that shit about snakes and owing her $50 American dollars a week. All right.
Yeah.
Anything to say here? We've already said it, haven't we? Really.
It was just weird. It felt so. A lot of the acting in this film doesn't feel natural. It feels very robotic.
Theatrical.
I think the reason for that is that there apparently, I don't know to what extent this is, but there was no actual voice line, like audio voice lines recorded for any of the actors. It was all dubbed in post.
Well, apparently a lot of Italian films of that era. Italian films of that era were dubbed a lot.
Wait, so they didn't even...
They didn't even say it in
probably
Italian.
Said...
Or they might have it might have mouthed it, yeah, but like...
They would have said it, I imagine, but then they redub it, so it comes across quite disjointed. But I think for the most part, it's a pretty good example of dubbing. But yeah, pretty much the whole film is dubbed in
Interesting.
English. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
They're definitely speaking English though, because
Yeah, they do.
They are
I
they are
can-
mouthing English. Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe he's trying to reach a larger audience, even though it kind of flopped.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, definitely did.
Yeah. Carry on. Move on from that. Yeah, this was
It's alright, yeah.
The acting was
Um,
just very theatrical, especially the bloody protagonist. God damn. Carry on.
So then they're told to go to the red room to start dancing, whatever, and they're doing. It's quite a large room, isn't it? And then the woman comes in again and says, "Oh, people that are coming with me come to the yellow room." And this is when she's told that. Oh, is that it? Am I wrong?
What?
God, I literally watched this earlier, so I don't can't. But basically, she either gets made ill by that. She gets a spell cast on her,
Yeah.
doesn't she?
Then
And she
she-
starts feeling all faint.
Yeah.
And then she passes out and starts bleeding.
That's after she was forced to dance, yeah.
Yeah. And blood starts coming out of her nose and mouth and shit. And then she's brought into this bed, and this lady is absolutely forcing water down her throat.
Yeah.
She's like, "No, you must drink the water." And she's probably drowning.
Get your
at this point,
blood
looks
back.
like it.
Drink this
Yeah.
water.
Well, apparently the cure for anemia is red wine. What do we think of that?
I felt that was that used to be a believed thing. I'm
Yeah,
not
it could
sure
be
what the
a
validity of
relic of its time.
That almost feels like something medieval, isn't it? You must drink red things to
If-
recover your
If
red
that
blood.
was in today's age, there would be a branded bottle of wine in the background, and they would,
Yeah.
and they would with the ladle voice facing the camera.
Yeah.
Well,
Or it
and
would be like, "No, you must drink Coke to
Your sugar's
recover your blood cells."
Yeah.
and then the doctor says, "Oh yeah, only plain foods from now on as well," which I thought was a bit vague and odd.
Yeah. Well, it's like
Porridge
no
and
spice,
wine.
no salt. It's
Right,
bread.
yeah.
Rye bread.
Mm,
Yeah.
Lovely.
But then we obviously, she's then chatting to Sarah, isn't she? And we see that Pavlos come in, who's that really creepy guy who's got gingivitis or something and false teeth. And he looks
Yeah,
really gross.
Romanian. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
and the woman calls him ugly as well to his face. It says like, "Oh, it doesn't matter. He can't understand a wink."
he's part of the cult.
Yeah, and then he
He's part
turns
of it.
around on the stairs and he's like, does that smile, and I wanted to kill myself.
Reminded me of Dracula.
Dracula.
Yeah.
He's not quite that handsome, bro. You know.
Oh, that's think for yourself. God damn.
Yeah. So this
That's
is when,
true.
as well, the Sarah girl says to Susie, like, your specialized diet includes red wine. What the hell, sort of thing. And then they start combing their hair, don't they? And that's when they find the maggots.
Yep.
Mm.
And then it turns out the maggots are coming down from the ceiling, and then
Oh, no.
that music sting happens, and it's really quite comical, especially when it's like this synthesized, like fast-paced music, and it goes out into the corridor, and the camera like pans and zooms on this girl as she comes out, and she's got all these. Well, what you found out is what you've told me is rice on her face, and she's like ah. Oh yeah, that made me laugh. That did.
They use maggots on when they close-ups. Well,
Yeah, yeah. But
Did
they
they?
didn't drop it on people. They didn't
Yeah,
drop
yeah,
live
drop it.
maggots.
Yeah.
But it's fucking gross, right?
Yeah. You know what was gross? When they went up the attic and started walking on them. That was kind of gross.
Yeah, no.
But, I mean, I don't like maggots and all, but come on, man.
I
Fuss
know.
off them.
Yeah,
God damn.
it was fucking gross, dude. I hated it.
And their shoes. Scarred the
so-
actors.
Do you have anything else you want to say about that? Because I don't. I'd
No,
sooner
not
rather
really.
move
It's
on from the maggots. It's
maggots
disgusting.
scene just made to disgust you that went nowhere, sort of thing.
Yeah.
And then,
And then
I have something
Dan.
to say about the next scene though, which is where because there are maggots in the top floor, they all move down to the bottom floor and they all sleep in the same room with some curtains.
Oh,
And-
maybe that was
Yeah.
the plot point.
And
They wanted
then
them all in the one room.
Susie's friend Sarah says something about the director saying that like that there was someone behind the curtain they think is the director who like no one's seen because the director is the
yeah.
main witch. But at this point, you don't understand why that's important. I mean, I didn't anyway. I didn't understand why. You say, "Oh, that's the director
Yeah.
behind me," because I recognize her snoring. Because once she slept in the room next to mine. But like at this point in the film, I was like, okay.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
because she doesn't explain that, like, you know, maybe she's like some kind of fucking arch coven witch or something. It's like,
yeah, it's just really, it's not very well done, as well, because the only thing it's really got going for it at this point is the lighting, how it's all red and stuff. Because I did read into it a little bit again. It's like when they're all reassuring the girls and they're all having fun. Everything's white, isn't it? It's very white. There's white sheets everywhere. They're all wearing white. They're in white beds, and that's like innocence, isn't it? It's like symbolizes like purity and innocence. And then as they leave after they've said, "Don't worry, we'll all, you know, everything's fine in the morning. You know, we'll all be okay." And then they leave and turn the lights off, and it just goes fucking red. And that's when the director just comes in and starts snoring like a bastard.
and then I can't remember. I'm not sure if this comes next or if it came before, but it's like Sarah is in Susie's room, and Susie is like falling asleep, and Sarah keeps trying to speak to her, saying like, "Can you hear the footsteps outside? They're going this way." And then Sarah just like is like, it's like she's got narcolepsy or something. She just like keeps falling asleep, and then Sarah's like, "Wake up!" It's like,
she was cursed.
Wake the fuck up!
Yeah. And then
Jesus.
Brilliant acting, by the way. Phenomenal job.
I think she said, I'm not sure, I think she says it in a separate scene later on where it's a similar thing where she says like, "Oh, they're not going towards the exit, they're going a different way."
I will count
way.
I think I'm jumping the gun a bit with that one.
You are, because we missed the next death entirely. Because after this scene,
I love this death.
The old lady and the young lad go over to the dog.
Yeah.
Okay, not the
and
dog,
you hear a little, and then
your stupid dog bit the boy.
Yeah, and they start having a go at the blind man. He literally can't see.
Go at the blind guy.
And she's
I'm
like,
blind,
"Oh yeah," she kicks him out, and she's like, "What did she kick his cane away from him and shit?"
Sorry, I just I think I just disconnected for a brief few seconds. I didn't hear what you guys just said.
Oh right, okay. Well, basically, they're all having a go at the blind man.
Yeah.
And then they kick his cane away or something. I could be wrong.
No, she picks it up and throws it because he's sitting down at the piano.
Something like that. Yeah. And he has to go find it, doesn't he? And then after this, he's at like a party or something. There's some guys slapping each other's faces for a laugh.
Yeah, yeah. That's the German.
Yeah. It's pretty satisfying. That's like that. And then we get this very visually appealing scene, which I think goes on for a little bit too long. Like, again, with the audio editing and the drumming sounds. And...
I mean, how much do you actually like the visuals in this film?
I do. I like the wide shots are there. I think it's really cool how expansive it is.
Yeah,
I like the colour uses, and some of the practical effects are pretty good. But I think this is about the extent to which the film is good.
Yeah, and the shots they're not even like, they're not jaw dropping. It's like, oh, that's cool. And then they drag it on.
It is old though. It is pretty old.
Well, yeah.
It's like 55 years old now.
Yeah.
Is it after the party scene is that the pool scene? Or is that a little bit later on?
Not quite. They think they discuss that the blind man died.
Yeah,
and then
oh yeah, of course. Yeah, of course. No, he dies. Doesn't
he? Susie goes and talks to the mistress, saying that she said something when she left the academy at the start of the film, or something like that.
Yeah,
I can't remember. She said something, and then she's like, "I don't know why you waited until hello." Do you remember that? I don't know why you waited 2 weeks to tell me hello, and then the scene ends, and then we get the swimming pool scene. So Dan,
Dad didn't. My scene when she said hello a lot of times.
Oh,
she kept saying hello and whatnot, and that went on for like 30 seconds to a minute of her saying hello.
Really?
Yeah.
Weird.
Yeah.
You got the Italian cut.
I got the extended cut.
Yeah.
Directed.
Someone says hello.
How long was the film you watched?
I don't even know.
What was it, an hour and a half?
An hour and a bit. Hour and a half, yeah.
Maybe 40 something like that.
I think it was an hour and a half, something like that.
Yeah, so that scene for me went on too long, so I can see why it was good.
I was like, 'cause I have a problem with the swimming pool scene. Is if that's next. Also, hang on. Sorry, I need to just go and shut my window because my dog is barking a lot.
I have a problem with the goddamn scene.
Christ.
They're doing breaststroke too close to each other.
I know.
They're hitting
Yeah.
arms. What is this?
Well, I mean, you could have just had the camera back a little bit, right, and then have them spread out. It would have looked a better shot.
Wait, sorry, what did you guys just say? Sorry, I was just closing my window.
You were just saying basically that when they're swimming. Harry said that when they're swimming that they're too close together.
Right.
Yeah. Kind of a little joke, They're doing breaststroke. They're sitting next to each other. They're like touching each other's chests.
I have a few problems with this scene. In fact, this is probably one of the most problematic scenes.
Really?
In terms of my opinion of the film.
It's not real water. It's in CG.
Well, look, my main problem is Sarah. I don't really understand why she talks to Susie in the way that she does, because she's when they're about to get into the pool, she's like, "You've really made a mess of things now." It's like, what? What? Why?
It's because she's like looking into stuff, right, and she's talking to the leaders about it. And Sarah suspects that something really horrible is going on.
Yeah, but Sarah was also like,
but
she's not. Okay.
But she's never said anything directly to the owners, or the leaders, or whatever.
But then the bigger problem that I have is that when they're swimming, she says, "Oh, that first night when you tried to get in, someone on the intercom said, 'Go away.' That was me." I was like, "What? Why was that? Why was she on the intercom? And why did she tell her to? Why is she just saying this now?"
Yeah, I know. Yeah, and also it's like the way that it plays out in the scene. It's like it's supposed to have relevance, but it's not relevant at all. But you don't even get that because then she just comes back the next day. It's like it does nothing. It has no relevance. Dan, I agree with you on that one.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, it's irrelevant totally, and also it's just again, it's like another. It just seems like, okay, now let's get a shot of them in the swimming pool, and they'll say nothing. They'll say nothing at all.
Oh, the other thing about the swimming pool thing is, when I watched it, I thought, wow, they're swimming like really like they're really stiff when they're swimming.
Yeah.
And the reason for that is because the director told them to make make very gentle movements so that the water seems more calm.
Yeah.
But for me, that makes it just look like they're swimming really unnaturally. So I don't know how I feel about that.
To me, it just seemed like they're trying to keep their hair dry.
Yeah.
Well, and keep your hair dry. We can't afford hair dryers in set, please.
Anyway, so then we find out that after this, Susie's falling asleep again, and it's because her food's being drugged, isn't it? And we find that out a little bit later. That's my. It doesn't directly say it, but that's my interpretation.
I mean, they could probably curse her anyway. I don't know, at this point, I don't know how powerful they are. They can simply just kill somebody at will.
They pretty much did. I mean,
I think, I guess.
And this is the other thing as well. It's like, they're killing some people for getting too close to figuring out what's going on. And then it's like, but with Susie, it's like, no, we just need to
postpone it.
Drug her. Yeah, we need to drug her and make her all, complacent and whatever. But Sarah, nothing's happened to Sarah. She just keeps figuring it out until she inevitably. What even happens? She's like in the room, and then everything goes green.
Through the door, and then when she, oh my god, she hides in the attic room, and that whole fucking scene of the person trying to undo the lock.
Yeah.
Holy fuck. I'm screaming. Hold the fucking lock. Just put your hand gently on it. Like, he just gently fumbling the lock. Just, oh my god.
I know, yeah. It was like a bit of a cock tease,
That was very
stroking the lock. He was just like,
oh my god, look at the lube.
I'm coming to get you.
I'm surprised you didn't spit on it, to be honest. God fucking hell. And then
it was. Go on. Go on.
No, I was going to move on, like how she climbs up the box through a small vent, and then this is why when I said when it's coloured backgrounds, it's dark for them. It's a kind of pitch black.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's a good.
Jumps
that's a good
in
point.
to coils of I can only assume is supposed to be barbed
It's
wire.
meant to be barbed wire, but
Yeah.
it just very clearly isn't.
She just fucking jumps in this pathetic jump and then just starts rolling around.
And she's like, ah! It's like, what did you expect?
Starts swimming.
Yeah. Also, what is this area? You know, like she goes through this corridor in the attic. She goes into a room. She locks it. Guy's fumbling around with the lock for ages, and then she takes about 5 minutes to stack some boxes. The boxes nearly fall for some fake tension. She climbs through the window, and then boom, there's just a small room.
There's a door with a
that
crack
is
in it.
full of barbed wire.
It's like they knew. It's like he was fumbling with the lock because they wanted it to jump in the wire. But the complexity of that whole
I'm coming to get you.
I'm coming.
Promise.
Yes. Don't escape through the window with the conveniently piled boxes there.
Yeah.
And surely she could see the barbed wire through because the door was letting light through. But I swear, I don't know.
Apparently, IRL, when that was being recorded, that like fake barbed wire was still actually quite painful to writhe about. So.
Wow.
Yeah, I imagine it would be, honestly.
Yeah. Coil of wire. Metal wire.
But it doesn't matter anyway, because then the green-eyed hairy man reaches in and slits her throat in what I would think is personally like the best effect of the movie.
Yeah, it literally looks like they just cut like some actual meat.
It's pretty good. I thought that was pretty cool. You know, credit where credit's due. I like practical effects. That was a good one.
It makes me cringe a little bit, but
yeah, but that's the idea, isn't it?
yeah, especially the scene when the first death when he stabs her heart. Oh god. Ew. It wasn't that gory, really, but he still got.
Yeah, he stabs her right in the heart,
and then no blood comes out at all. And just kind of stops.
Yeah. So then she goes and tries to ring. Well, she finds out that Sarah's gone missing or whatever, and she's like, "Oh, you don't know where she is? Oh, we haven't heard from her in ages." And then so she rings her brother. Is it her brother? It is, isn't it? I think.
I don't. I'm not sure if it's her brother or it's a therapist she used to have. I think, right?
I see. I thought it was her brother.
Is it a psychiatrist? Because I know she speaks to her psychiatrist.
I see.
Sure.
I thought it was her brother.
Yeah, it might be. Honestly, I don't know how she has the number for her brother.
Well, yeah, I know that's a good. Well, that's another.
Or psychiatrist.
Really...
More interestingly, like, why would you have your number for that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if it was a psychiatrist, they're usually like sworn to like anonymity. Like they're not meant to disclose information about you. So that's not.
But if he's also a psychiatrist, why is he talking to this girl that's just gone through this traumatic event?
But
he's like, oh, I think it might be witches. Well, he's not. He's saying she thinks it's.
Yeah, but like, how did she even get to that meeting?
I don't know. Yeah,
that's a good
She
question.
went to that meeting full of these people, and then she speaks to her fucking psychiatrist, and he's like, "Yeah, she's crazy bitch. She believed in witches. Oh, here, speak to this guy I know who studies witches."
Yeah, and then the guy that studies witches is fully like. It seems like he actually believes in witches.
Yeah, he was like, "Yes, it's witches. What got you in the occult?" And she's like, "Oh, strange stuff's been happening. Oh well, here's
like
the entire
what?
history of
about
this
3
building
murders.
you're in." It's just plot. Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of weird. She just appeared there to progress the plot.
Yeah. Oh, I should mention actually. We go back to quickly the scene where the. What did you think of the practical effects regarding the dog chewing the guy's throat? Daniel, his name.
I mean, they're okay.
Well, the close-up was very clearly a puppet, but
yeah, it's like some guy's hand. It's okay. I mean, you compare. I know it's not even like that long in the like. For example, The Thing, the practical effects in that are fucking amazing. Comparing this to The Thing is kind of a bit unfair, but
5 years later though.
It's only 5 years.
Yeah, but if you look at the practical effects in The Exorcist, which is considered a masterpiece,
yeah,
they are also, not incredible. It's one of them. I think it's a product of its time, isn't it? And I think the thing that sells this film is the aesthetic more than anything else. So what happens after she talks to? That's right. She goes back, doesn't she? And she has that food, and she chucks it down the sink, doesn't she?
That wine
it's very
like
clearly not red wine. Yeah, it's like
it
sticks to the sink, and she doesn't even bother to clean it.
All the hands, yeah.
Yeah.
Why did she throw everything down the toilet and the red one down the sink? Just throw it all down the toilet.
Yeah, and I would have thought, honestly, like, can you just... Why did you have to splash it in the sink, man?
Yeah,
Can you
just
pour it
chill.
down the drain? Yeah. Yeah. Because she's obviously sussed out that she's been poisoned. And then a bat flies in the window for no reason.
Yeah, I was thinking that. It flew in. It was like on a wire. They were just kind of fumbling around the room.
Yeah,
And
she
then-
fucking annihilates it.
And then it's on the floor for some reason. And then she throws a
Yeah.
towel over it and fucking smashes it up. I'm like, oh.
And then leaves it.
That's
She's
an
just
endangered
like,
species.
that's
the protected
tomorrow's
species,
problem. And
Yeah,
throws a
yeah. She
cigarette
just
in.
walks out.
Yeah.
The sink's got red wine on it. The bat's crushed under the towel. It's all over
What
the
have you been
toilet.
doing in here?
She doesn't give a fuck. It's
Yeah. It's pretty funny
yeah.
though.
Yeah, it was. That made me laugh. That bat scene. I was like, it's like, well,
Yeah.
why?
Yeah.
A failed assassination attempt.
Another disjointed moment, but hey, I think it's just at this point we can just say like these things like that and the maggots. It's just
I mean, this whole film can be compressed to like half an hour,
yeah.
very easily.
But then
and it
you
would probably
wouldn't
be
get
more
all the
effective.
lighting and the lighting and the architecture and the
I could
really
go
good acting.
and film something with my phone in the woods with a red light, and go, wow, this lighting is phenomenal. Wow, and I can have like maybe a fog machine going, and then I'll do some drums on my desk. And
I want to just put out there right now, because I think we're being absolutely brutal to this film right now. Right, we have done nothing but say bad things about it. But I will say, I did actually quite enjoy watching this. I just want to throw this out there. Right, it has its moments.
Yeah, it was a film I watched.
Yeah, I don't know if I did. I mean, I did enjoy parts of it. I liked like some of the effects, but it's like, to be honest, I did just kind of want the film to end near the end.
Yeah,
So, like, there came a point probably about like maybe halfway through where I was just like, I just want this to be over as soon as possible, because it's just not that enjoyable anymore.
I wanted it to end. I was like, okay, this film's a bit weird. I don't know what's going on, but surely it's gonna have a nice climax where everything makes sense. And then it got to like 10 minutes from the end, and I was like, okay, this is not happening. I know what's happening now, but it was kind of a boring end.
Yeah,
It was like
I think this comes from somebody who I like this kind of film, you know. So it's easier for me to take, because I don't know, I like to
what
see
is
these
this
films
kind of
as
film?
horror.
It just
I like old horror films, and like just because I think they have charm to them. It's like, if you've I don't suppose either of you have ever seen Halloween or any of the Halloween films or any of the Friday the 13th films,
No.
or
I actually
No.
haven't.
because they, like, especially because I've seen every Halloween film, right? And there's I think there's 13 of them.
Jesus.
Yeah. And like most of them are really bad. But that being said, I still enjoy watching them because of their sort of the nature of them being a time capsule of this era, you know. Yeah, it's a weird one. I don't know. I've said my piece on that. We'll move on anyway. What happens after? What did we just say? The bat attack.
Yeah, bat attack. I feel sorry for the bat.
Rip bat.
Rip bat.
Rip
Yeah,
Dracula.
why-
That was actually
She could have.
Pavlos.
She could have just let it out. She could have just like opened the window. Like, she even like caught it in a towel at one point.
She could have just like
She-
not opened the window.
No, I mean like
There
she
was
could.
glowing yellow eyes out the window, and if I was, if she was being drugged, people are dying around me, and I'm terrified. I'm not opening that. I'm not going to open that fucking window.
Well, yeah, but yeah,
But
she
carry
didn't.
on.
She didn't. She didn't have to kill the bat. That's what I'm trying to say anyway. Like she had it in a towel. She could have just like put it somewhere. She didn't have to fucking bash it.
Yeah, put it in the toilet like everyone else. Yeah, then she goes to her room, doesn't she?
And
then
she-
counts
and she-
footsteps.
That's it. And she and she gets to she counts the footsteps because that's what Sarah was doing before she got murdered, and because she thinks it's just a great idea, even though she actually knows nothing about what's going on, and it's because really there is nothing to know, because the so-called antagonists of this plot actually don't have anything to do, right?
Yeah, they just
What is it they're doing? That's my biggest criticism
They
here.
just kill their students. They're like, this student's a bitch, kill this bitch.
Yeah, they're just like, they're finding out what we're doing. What is it we're doing again?
It's like they did something like years ago, and they keep having to kill people that figure it out.
Yeah, God damn it, this has got to stop somewhere.
Yeah, someone's gonna have to stop probing information eventually.
Yeah, fuck's sake. Okay, that's my biggest criticism here. Really, it's just she's investigating this thing that's going on. It's like there is no thing. It's just a bunch of fucking weirdos. Yeah. So anyway, she finds the room, doesn't she? Yeah. She finds the room.
She gets past those two women that look like men, chopping meat.
Oh yeah, that's it.
Yeah, all very suspense. I felt like I was like watching myself play Payday 2 and like, get past the guards on a couch behind something.
Yeah, and you hear that beep 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 beep.
Yeah.
Oh shit! Run behind the curtain.
Yeah, very intense scene that was.
Yeah, I know. I almost shit my pants when the crazy old lady came out and looked at the curtain that was floating.
Oh,
there's nothing there.
And she gets to the main room where they're in, and she has that flashback.
Yeah.
Was it?
And then suddenly,
whatever.
From a memory from about 3 weeks ago, she suddenly remembers what she said.
Yeah. Turn the blue flower.
Oh yeah.
Oh, the blue flower. Yeah,
that really didn't make any sense to me. So anyway, she turns the blue flower magic door open. She goes in. There's a bunch of people there. That Pavlos guy, the freak with gingivitis. They're drinking some weird shit, and there's all red lighting again. And she's like, "It's the end. What, we need to kill the American girl. Why?
She's figuring us out.
Yes,
drink this stuff. Disease, death. Oh, and she's just freaking out. Yeah, and then she goes into the other.
Yeah, she goes into the room, and then we meet. I have a little bit of trivia about this.
Oh, okay. It's an actual witch.
No. We meet the directress, who is the lady that was snoring in the red room when they're all together, and now we understand the significance of that whole scene.
Kind of. But like, still, why is she there? There's no. Why did she?
Why was that important at that point? We don't know.
She's sucking the energy from the girls by being near them.
But according to actress Jessica Harper, who played the main Susie, she said that this witch was played by a woman called Lila Svasta, who was a 90-year-old former prostitute that director Dario Argento found on the streets of Rome, and it was her only known acting appearance.
Wow.
Yeah.
And she did a fantastic job.
And going, you're going to die.
Meet death. What was it?
Yeah.
The living dead. Ooh.
So, also another bit of trivia. Obviously, you know, she gets spotted because she knocks over that glass bird, doesn't she? Uh-huh. You could say A Bird with the Crystal Plumage, which was a film that was made in 1970, and it was produced by the father of Dario Argento, Salvatore Argento, who was a film producer. Mm-hmm. So yeah, he produced a film called The Bird with the Crystal Plumage, and it almost feels like that might have been a reference. I'm just saying. Maybe I'm...
yeah, what Wikipedia article did you get that off? Huh?
No, I drew that to myself. I don't know. But anyway, yeah, thanks, Harry.
No problem.
She gets one of the plumes, and then she sees, and her friend Sarah does an Evil Dead, and comes out of the wall looking all dead and shit. You remember that?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
She's got nails in her eyes, I think.
Needles, actually.
Oh, I'm very sorry. She's got needles in her eyes as she Evil Deads her way out of the wall, and then she sees the outline of the woman, the witch, and stabs her, and that's
Somehow
it.
She can be
That's the end of the fucking film.
No, it isn't.
Well, no.
Everyone fucking dies. The entire hotel starts exploding.
Yeah.
And then she walks outside in the rain, and then she seems to laugh at herself because she's finally finished this film, and
because she genocided all the other dancers.
yeah,
She's gonna go to prison. Like that's like multiple
But that's
murder
funny.
and arson. That's,
Yeah. The rest of the murders will probably get pinned on her as well.
yeah.
Just a thought.
Yeah. Her expression into the film, like she kind of, I don't know, she feels like she's happy. She feels like she's just someone just told her a joke and she found it genuinely funny.
Yeah.
Tell you what I did like at the end actually is you know how like the witch is invisible and then like lightning strikes occasionally and you can see like the outline of it.
Yeah.
I quite liked that. I thought that was a cool effect.
Yeah.
Even though it looked quite old, I
Yeah.
liked the effect of it.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Again, it's got charm. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's charming old
Charm.
effects.
And I've heard, I can't remember who it was. It's based on a dream. The entire film is based on a dream that someone had. That there was an invisible witch in their room.
That makes
You're
sense.
telling me they made an entire hour and a half fucking film for that invisible witch scene?
Well, you know what? It's better than the fucking Grinch. I'm bringing it back.
Okay, that's funny you say that, because when we were going to rate this film, I was going to say, so out of 0 to Grinch, what is this film? Something like that.
0 to Grinch. Don't you mean
0
Grinch to 5?
Grinch to 5. Whatever. Grinch to no. That's giving Grinch. Okay, that's a bit harsh to Grinch. I want to be.
Well, I gave the Grinch 2 out of 5,
Yeah, that's not. 0.
and I would give this. Well,
I'm not giving this higher than the
there.
Grinch. That's I'm that sport. Yeah, so I'm
you're
saying.
gonna die on that hill. Okay.
I don't even know how much. I gave the Grinch a 3.
I'd give this higher than the Grinch, but
You would?
yeah. But it's more my kind of film. I'm biased. Yeah, we'll talk about that afterwards.
Okay.
So yeah, she genocides the people, and then she leaves, and then it's over. Anything more you want to add to this? What has been? I can tell you guys really enjoyed it.
It was a watch.
Do you-
There's nothing else to say. Honestly, I think I've said my piece. I like some shots.
Yeah.
But,
I found out whose dream it was. It's
go on.
according to IMDb, the film's finale was inspired by a dream that co-writer Daria Nicolodi once had. In the dream, she said she had encountered an invisible witch, and most bizarrely, there was a panther in the room with her that suddenly exploded. The dream that explains, that explains why
explains
like
the explosions.
it just
Yeah.
explodes.
Well,
Interesting.
that's yeah.
I'm surprised
Interesting.
some of my dreams aren't suddenly films now.
No.
And my dreams are
don't.
cool, okay, sometimes. Not quite Suspiria cool, but
Is there anything you enjoyed about this film?
yeah, I like some of the shots. I liked the music was fine until it kept going for an hour. That got a bit annoying.
Yeah. It was catchy for me. I've still got it in my head right now.
I liked the Romanian butler dude. He was funny. I wish he was in it more.
I don't. I'm glad
And
it
I
wasn't.
like the dog. I think the dog had needed more scenes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe
Film
just,
would-
maybe just them petting the dog for 10 minutes or something. I don't know. That'd been kind of nice.
I liked the green-eyed monster where you first see it, where Sarah walks past it, and it's like in a shadowed corner. I actually quite.
Well,
I
no,
thought,
you
I
first
quite
see it at
liked-
the beginning of the film.
Oh,
And that
yeah, right,
girl's-
yeah.
And it goes ping, and and then that hairy arm smashes through the window and smashes her face against the glass.
Through the glass.
But no, it goes on for like a good minute of her face just being squashed against the glass.
Yeah, the directors
It
really
looks
wanted that.
quite painful, honestly.
Oh, I had a piece of
Yeah.
trivia I was meant to say earlier. Is that apparently the director wanted this film that they want the characters in this film to be children below the age of 12.
Okay, that's red flaggy. That is. That's red flaggy.
But his producer advised him not to because he thought that it would get banned if it was like
Salvatore Argento.
yeah
Would that be the producer?
his producer said that he thought it might get
So
banned
his
if
dad
it shows
told him.
he thought it might get banned if it shows like violence with children.
Why did he want children?
I don't know.
Yeah, well, I think we can probably take a good guess.
Yeah, he pulled a fucking what's his name? I
don't know. There's a few. Bill Cosby, Jimmy Savile.
No. Inglourious Bastard director. I don't know how.
Tarantino.
Tarantino pulled. Yeah, there was a scene with bare feet in it. So he wanted little kids' bare feet like Nickelodeon.
Oh
so
God.
He wanted to pull a fucking Nickelodeon on their ass.
I actually saw something quite disheartening about Tarantino the other day. He was defending director Roman Polanski for like sexually assaulting somebody, saying that she wanted it. Yeah, not good. It really made me quite sad about that. I should say, go and find that out for yourself. Right? 'Cause I'm not going to just dunk on Tarantino without source. I don't really. I saw it. You know, look into it yourself.
Thumbnail.
Yeah. I'm not just going to drag Tarantino. Yeah. So let's talk about ratings then, and then there is something else I wanted to talk about afterwards.
Okay.
So I'll go first then. I did rate it higher to begin with when I first watched it, but I think now I'll probably... We've discussed it at length, and I'm seeing this film has a lot of flaws. It's visually very impressive. I did really enjoy that. And I am biased because horror and old. Therefore, with all the flaws we've already discussed, I'm not just going to go into it again. I'd probably give it probably a 2.5. 2.5 out of 5.
But what did you rate The Grinch?
2.
2, okay.
That's what I'm saying. Like, if I'm gonna give The Grinch a 2, I gotta keep it consistent, right? And this film is as flawed as The Grinch. It's just the visual representation to me is a lot better. You know, I said last time with The Grinch, the fucking the makeup and just everything about the visuals I fucking despise. Whereas this film, I think the visuals are pretty great. So, 2.5 out of 5, I would say, honestly.
I think this gets a solid 2 from me, I think. Yeah, solid 2. I don't know what would be lower.
I feel the same. It feels... I also give it a 2, but I was thinking about giving it a lower score, but then I think that feels mean, because I think the effects make it so that I can't give it a lower score than 2. Because the effects are good. It's just that everything else about the film I just think is pretty bad, and I didn't really enjoy watching it. But I would watch a compilation on YouTube of just certain scenes.
Go and watch Kill Count. Have you seen that?
No.
There's a YouTube channel. I think it's called Dead Meat, and they do like kill counts of horror films. Yeah, and it's like they basically just go through the film quickly and show some of the visuals and practical effects and whatever, and talk about the kills. Yeah, it's pretty good. Little plug for Dead Meat. They don't need it from us, but yeah.
You can get like 1 view.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe now I can put them in the tags.
We'll
come up when they.
You start name drop celebrities. Boom.
You need to get a collab with someone.
Also, the Dwayne Rock Johnson guys, him.
Dwayne the Rock Johnson, and Ryan Reynolds. Ryan Reynolds, everyone.
Ryan Reynolds, yeah. Ryan Reynolds is in the Christmas film I saw.
Oh, you watched Spirited?
Was it Spirited? It's Spirited. It's like a musical.
God. Oh no.
It was Spirited. I only watched like halfway through.
Ryan Reynolds and Will Ferrell.
It was interesting.
Was Ryan Reynolds doing that annoying voice that he does while he says some meta joke and
the whole film is meta jokes and stuff.
God, of course it is. I want to be sick.
It does it kind of. It was okay.
I hate Ryan Reynolds.
Why? He's okay.
Because he did. I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why. He did Deadpool, right?
And then he didn't.
Everyone loved it. Everyone loved it, right? I like Deadpool. Yeah. I think Deadpool's it's one of the better Marvel films. It's a lot, I think it's visually very, 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 very fucking boring, but the jokes are good. It was a lot of fun. And then he just did that. He's just done that since. Everything. And even in interviews, in adverts he's doing that shtick. And it's so... Okay, I'm sorry.
Oh yeah.
I'm getting really passionate. I don't really like Will Ferrell either. So when I saw that they were doing a fucking Christmas Carol film again, and it was Will Ferrell and Ryan Reynolds, I was like, please, I've had enough. I've had enough of you two.
On that note, guys, my film recommendation for next episode is Spirit.
Yeah, please no.
No.
So Harry, you've given your rating.
Yep.
Dan, what would you
Two,
give this film then?
You said 2.
Yeah,
You
I
said two?
Yeah, I said 2.
You said 2. God, I completely
Don't we
missed
then?
that.
I listen then, don't we then?
Oh, thanks, Harry.
I'm really
Okay.
sorry, Dan. I'm really sorry. Okay. Well, yeah, so I did want to just quickly mention, because I wanted to talk about this. I wrote this down and I just saw it as we were talking about Suspiria. I watched a film that I think people should just watch anyway, because I just want to share how much I love this film.
Mm-hmm.
I watched it before Christmas. Have you seen Guillermo del Toro's new Pinocchio film?
No, I've heard that's really good.
It's fucking
'Cause
great.
not to be confused with the other 2 Pinocchio films that came out in the same year.
I was going to say that there's...
The Disney one
This isn't...
sucks.
Yeah. Which one is it? Again? How do you...
So, Robert Zemeckis directed a Disney film, a Disney Pinocchio.
Yeah.
And with Tom Hanks in it playing Geppetto, and it is so bad. I watched half of it. Yeah, I couldn't get through the last bit. It's like it's just terrible. It's all like live action and CGI, like they keep trying to do with everything. It's just so bad. Jiminy Cricket looks really bad and ugly, and he's played by Joseph Gordon-Levitt, and I'm just like, why? And then just all the CGI is terrible. Anyway, I'll stop talking about that. Guillermo del Toro's one is just epic. So Geppetto is voiced by the guy who plays Filch from Harry Potter.
Mm-hmm.
And he's great. Jiminy Cricket's voiced by Ewan McGregor.
Oh, okay, nice. Cool.
Yeah, and he's awesome in it. He's really good. There's a lot of like fascism in it, which is pretty crazy.
Oh, yes.
My favourite.
I love fascism.
Me too. And then... but yeah, it's just generally a fucking great film. The animation's spectacular. The kid who voices Pinocchio is really, really good, and I highly, highly recommend it. And also, Guillermo del Toro is just the master of creating visually incredible creatures. So yeah, if you guys haven't seen the Hellboy films, they're great.
Oh, is that what he directed? Did he do Hellboy?
He did the Hellboy films.
Oh, I've seen Hellboy. Hellboy's a pretty good film.
Not the Netflix one that sucks. The
actual original one.
Yeah. And he also did The Shape of Water, and he did Pan's Labyrinth.
Oh, that one.
And they're all really good, and so his Pinocchio is just excellent, and I highly recommend it. Okay, thank you for listening to my
have you seen Meat Canyon's Pinocchio?
No.
I have seen Meat Canyon's Pinocchio.
You should watch Meat Canyon's Pinocchio. It's a
not
2-minute video.
Yeah, it's not very long.
2-minute video, okay. I have a feeling it's going to be...
It's horror.
Yeah, okay. I thought that might be the case.
Yeah. No, I'm not saying anything else. Okay.
Cool, I'll watch that. Everyone go watch Meat Canyon's Pinocchio and Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio.
Yeah.
Did you guys have anything you wanted to share?
I need to pee.
You need to pee? Okay. Well,
Dario Argento contemplated suicide after making...
Oh, because he lost so much money.
I don't know.
He should turn it into a film. He should turn his thoughts of suicide into a film, and it might be better.
I don't know if it was
harsh?
because it did badly. I think it might just be because it... it's like sometimes if someone makes a film, or they make some kind of artwork that's just quite dark, it can just have an effect on you mentally. If you're like spending months making something that's just really dark, that can like...
What you mean, like Heath Ledger?
I think he was
Like-
just
like-
sad. He didn't get 12-year-olds to play his actors.
Oh, God. Well,
yeah, like Heath Ledger, yeah.
Right, so we'll move on then now to our film recommendation for next 2 weeks.
Mine.
Today is Harry's, and I'm really excited. I'm really
a
excited.
phenomenal piece of film. Now, it's been on my mind. I have seen this already. I kind of just want you guys to watch it, honestly, because it's phenomenal. To be honest.
Have we seen it already?
Yes.
Oh God, okay.
I've seen it already.
Is it over the
I've
hedge?
also... No, I've also... That is a banging film. Again, just saying. That would be a 5. Biased. However, not that film. Okay, I've shown you guys this film, just the cover of it. I don't know about. I know I've shown you, Jake. I think. Velocipasta.
Oh my god.
Okay. Yeah.
It is truly amazing. A visual masterpiece. It is horror, comedy. I don't know how to express it, honestly. It is beautiful. It was entertaining through and through. Unpredictable. Phenomenal. That's all I gotta say.
Okay. Right. Well.
Yep.
That's gonna be interesting. I'm
looking forward to making a thumbnail for that video.
I'm gonna get my girlfriend to watch that with me.
Please, she'll fucking love it. You'll see the smile on her face. Oh,
well, you know, she can be tough to impress. So
this easily done.
Okay.
No doubt. Honestly, no doubt.
I feel like this is gonna be torture for her, but you know, we'll.
No. I'm not even being sarcastic. It's fucking great watch. Suspiria is like a fever dream, and you want it to end. This is like a fever dream. This is like a lucid dream that you just want to keep going. You just want to keep exploring. It's amazing.
Yeah. See, this is the thing. I'm sad about Suspiria because I bought, before we even talked about doing a podcast, I bought it on Blu-ray because obviously I'd seen Climax and I love Climax. Harry, you hated Climax.
Yeah, I didn't hate it. Hate's a strong word. I felt like it was incredibly weird and underwhelming.
Because I talked to some other people. I got James, James from work. I got him to watch Climax and he loved it, the same as me. And I spoke to one of James's friend who'd already seen it as well, and he really liked it as well.
Do you guys just like watching a bunch of horny people fuck, or that's like
they
the
don't
film?
Fuck.
Yes, they do. Several people fuck. Are you kidding me?
Only I can only remember one two that fuck. Two.
There's people fuck in the open on the floor. People fucking in the other
no
rooms.
One's fucking on the floor in the open. They're doing sexual lewd stuff. Well, there's
They're fully fucking at the end of the film. She's on the floor and he's like, Grr,
yeah, no, she doesn't
grr."
want it, does she? Because it's her brother.
No, that's the other people that fuck.
I haven't seen this film, and I
Dan, it's
three people.
It's a
very
interesting
that surprised me a little bit.
There's two people in the room at the back. He's hitting on her sister the entire time, and then they fuck when they're on acid or something. And then the big black dude who's on about sex constantly throughout the fucking film, it's his entire
DJ
personality, fucks on the floor. No, not Daddy. He fucks someone on the floor. Daddy guy may or may not have fucked that little fit twink.
I reckon.
That does the same dance move 15 times.
I reckon he
probably did. And then those two lesbians make out.
Yeah, but this is also
whatever.
right after she's like experienced like extreme trauma. Like, let's not spoil anything else for Dan, because I feel like Dan, if you like,
the only reason why Jake likes this goddamn film is like it's an hour-long shot. It's just the camera just moves from scene to scene,
I think
just one fluent motion, which is cool. But it's not...
look. Let me speak for myself, right?
Yeah.
Well, I think this film. There's a lot I like about. We're just going to talk about Climax now for a minute.
Yeah.
The thing I love, which it's on theme though, because Suspiria is part of the. We talked about it earlier.
Yeah.
The thing, there's a lot I really like about this film, right? And I want to watch it again. I will admit that the introduction, where you see all the video cassette tapes, and it's like a solid 20-25 minutes of just people talking at the camera. That's pretty.
Not the only time that happens.
That's pretty.
By the way.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, but that is pretty dull, right? And then we get the introduction dance scene with that great Supernature track.
I enjoyed that.
Which again, one of my biggest things I love about this film is the soundtrack. There's a lot of really, really great music.
Yes.
Really, really, really great music. And then so you get that dance scene, and that's one shot, and that's really cool. And then you get more talking. Now, I actually enjoyed this talking.
Right.
Yeah, I did. Even though, like, a good portion of it is pretty gross. The two sort of black French guys talking about how they're like eating ass. That was pretty weird. But I think what's effective about it, right, is that it's. I think it. When I watched this, I was high, right, and for me, I started to notice that the.
No wonder why you're fucking like that.
It helped, I'll tell you that. But basically, I liked how it was establishing this normality, right? And when they were talking to each other, so I don't know if you know this, but the director actually just set up a camera in front of these people and got them to just talk for like an hour, and then took the footage and edited it into his favorite bits. And you get this quite, I don't know, it feels very natural, and it's telling you about the characters, and yeah, it goes on for quite a while, but I did find myself genuinely engaged by it, and it's because I think it's establishing this normality. And then you get the second dance scene after they've all drank the sangria, right? So Dan, if you don't, I'll tell you, if you don't know already, the sort of synopsis is quite brief. You know, it's just, yeah, basically it's this this French dance troupe in France, and they're at an abandoned school, and they're practicing for a dance thing, and then they're all celebrating, and they're drinking sangria, and then it turns out that the sangria had been spiked with LSD, right? So the first half of the film is before the sangria, and then you have this great dance scene where the acid is kicking in, and then you get the second half of the film. It's broken into two halves basically. The second half is just this absolute horrible, chaotic, violent single shot where there's a lot of interpretive dance and stuff like that. But I think that's why I liked it, because I didn't go into it thinking it was going to be a film. Really, it's just really? To me, I was looking forward to just seeing this like an acid trip through interpretive dance, and that is pretty much what it is, with a lot of interesting camera work and lighting. Very, very, very interesting lighting.
Very French.
Which is very, very Suspiria.
It's a very French film.
It is a very French film, yeah.
I watched it with people, and Who
did you watch it with? It wasn't your parents, was it?
No, I just watched it with I don't know how many. It was like 5 people, and they were like just friends, and they were just like, who recommended this stuff? My friend said this was a good film. This is when they were talking. I'm like, this is fucking boring ass. I had to explain myself. Basically.
I
had to explain myself.
Well, look, personally, I really enjoyed it because of the visuals. I found it very anxiety inducing. A lot of really nasty stuff happens. Yeah, that's
Suspiria.
but Climax feels like a much better, refined, purposeful film.
Yes, I 100% agree. I enjoyed Climax more than Suspiria.
You know, we need to watch the 2 sequels to this film.
What?
Suspiria. What? There are 2 sequels. It's part of a trilogy. If you didn't know.
Oh my god! No.
Well, there was a remake. I know that in 2018 with Tilda Swinton.
Yeah. But the second film in the trilogy is called Inferno. It was in 1980.
I saw that on Prime.
And was then that Dario Argento as well?
I'm not sure. And then the third one is The Mother of Tears, which was 2007, which is a 27-year gap between.
Do you know what kind of reception they got?
I don't. I just know it's about. Each one is about like a witch, because I think one of them is based in America. I think because it's like you find out in this subsequent films, it's kind of like more world building, I guess, for the world these witches live in. And it's like there are like there's like a like the directress. There's one of those, and like there's more of like those like big powerful witch people in like different parts of the world. I think the Inferno one is based in America, and I think the Mother of Tears is based in Rome, I think.
Right. Wild. Well, forgive me, but I'll watch that in my own time, I imagine, in the future.
Yeah.
Watching. I don't want to talk more about this for the podcast, especially.
Well, I'm gonna say. I'll finish with one thing. That's what Rodal Witches did it better.
Okay. So, are we done here? Are you happy?
I am content. I am eagerly waiting to piss.
I've got one more question for you, Harry. What would you give Climax out of 5?
Oh, fuck. I would give it... Oh, shit. I'm trying to... Every time now, I've got in my mind, like, okay, compared to The Grinch...
Okay, don't look at it comparatively. Look at what the film itself is trying to do. What does it succeed, and how well does it succeed?
I also kind of like rating things on how much I enjoyed it. Like, fuck everything else. Like, did I enjoy the film?
Yeah.
As a watch. And I liked... I'd give it... I'll give it a 3.
Give it 3.
I'll give it a 3.
Fair enough.
Maybe 3.5 maybe is pushing it. I'll say 3. I'll say 3 for now. Maybe on a rewatch, I can up it or something.
See, I can imagine as well.
Sorry.
One last thing. I'm sorry. I can imagine as well if you watched it with 5 other people, that would have brought the experience down for me a little bit, because I watched it on my own on my big telly in the dark after having a biff. And
Okay, yeah. If I was stoned, it would have been more entertaining.
Yeah.
Because I could have watched people talk for 20 minutes and go, wow, they're talking. That's entertaining.
yeah, I think it definitely helped
However,
me.
Yeah. Also, I couldn't get over. They brought it up. I brought it up, and they also said, "Do you know that Twinkie dude who kept doing the same dance
Yeah.
move?" I was like, "He's doing this."
He
He
did.
He
He did.
Like, yeah,
yeah.
I know.
But it's because there's no actual actors in it apart from I forgot her name, Sophia Garner or something like that. I don't know. That's probably wrong. But
Well,
the
they
main
all just
main
dancers.
girl is an actress, and then the rest are just dancers. And the whole film was what's the word? Basically, the whole film was improv. Yeah, that's it. Basically, all the scenes where they're going around doing the interpretive dancing when they're high on acid is all improvised.
You telling me that fucking film is improv, yet it has more of a consistent plot point than Suspiria?
Well, yeah, it does.
Phenomenal.
Yeah,
A 3.5.
but then that's why, because I think about those things and I'm like, it's executed so well for that, you know. So it's a 5 for me. Right, well,
What?
yeah, I know, oh, controversial, but you know, no, genuinely, I love
Okay,
Climax.
buddy.
I love Climax. Right,
We've got 2 film reviews in one episode.
I know. We'll probably put this in the title. I'll slap it in the title.
I'm gonna put the main thumbnail is gonna be Suspiria, and then I'll have like something in Climax just kind of peeking out.
Yeah, just have the DJ Daddy, you know, with the wig, and
I'm having the twink.
no,
And
don't
he's gonna be naked.
have the I don't know. Throw in the guy when he's doing the contortion dancing. That looks pretty cool. That'll make.
Oh, I could do.
that'll-
Yeah, I could do his face or something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that'd be cool. Okay, well, we'll leave it there anyway because we've been going on for ages. So we'll be watching Velocipass next time.
Velocipasta, yes.
Velocipass next time.
There's a sequel coming out as well of Velocipasta.
Really? God, it must have been.
Yeah, it's obtained like a cult following. It's one of those.
Cool. Okay. Right. We'll leave it there anyway. Thank you, everyone. Thank you guys for coming and talking with me about Suspiria, and thanks for everyone that's listened. If you've got any questions, feel free to leave them. We didn't get any last week. I'm not surprised, but you know, throw some questions our way. We'll answer them, maybe.
I'm gonna go in the comments to drive interaction up.
Yeah. Well, I saw you guys already did that.
I'll go
last
on
time.
my 7 alt accounts. Don't worry.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks, guys, for listening. I've been Jake.
And I need a piss.
And I have been.
Say. Please.
He has
You're
been.
still not Dan. We're still not quite there.
No, he is. Dan, you're fine. I accept you. You're valid.
Names are an abstract concept. Who needs them?
That is so deep.
Alright.
That's so such.
So I've been, you've been, and we've all been.
I am.
And
Are you a human being or a human
I
doing?
think, therefore I am.
I'm actually. I go by when.
Oh God. Okay. Goodbye, everyone. Thanks for listening. Bye. Bye. Yeah. Bye.
Alright, goodbye.